Good morning, everyone. Hope you slept well. Today, we will continue a little bit our exploration of this aspect of the vegan lifestyle um, that avoids participating in any shape or form into any so-called sport or entertainment built on suffering. So we saw yesterday, we talked about circuses, which have wild animals in them. I believe nowadays maybe some do not have those anymore. But yeah, probably in the past at least, it was very well established. And also aquariums. So aquariums, of course, they do have wild animals. And yeah, they would be only okay if it was just for rehabilitation and for helping all the wild sea people. Then for caring about them and then releasing them, then that would be okay, of course. But if it's just for entertainment, to see dolphins jump here and there, then that is not okay. But today we will go some other in that category, some other things related to that, which is horse racing, dog racing, and bullfighting. Also similar practices. They are often presented as like they are like sport or culture or tradition, but behind all those so-called quotation mark entertainment is a lot of suffering to the animals. They do not wish to be there. They are just forced to do it. They do not know why they even do it. Of course, they just it's kind of a human thing. All those, especially the racing. I mean, one can think that it is okay for the animals, but no. Why they do not know why they race? They just race maybe to catch something like a reward at the end. But we do it for gambling. A lot of it is related to gambling. That's what brings probably a lot of money. Gambling on horses is probably a big thing. Yeah, but horses, I mean, they are not supposed to be. Nobody should supposed to ride them. I mean, they are strong, but it's not for us to. They are not strong for us. They are just strong animals, and when somebody ride them, then it creates a lot of stress on their back. Like us, if somebody was, let's imagine somebody random on the street come to us and goes on our shoulders, and that would be a bit strange. And then tell us where to go and everything. I think we would not be very happy, to say the least. But the horses don't have a choice. So yeah, and dog racing also. We love dogs, yet we force them into those races where they often get injured. And once once they are so-called wasted, then they are kind of thrown away. So once humans cannot take advantage of them in any way, then they are just thrown to the pasture. And also bullfighting. Unfortunately, it is still legal in some countries, in some places in countries. I know some, even in countries where it is legal, it is not legal everywhere. But it is still, it is still happening. That is such a barbaric tradition. I'm sorry to say it that way, but I cannot say it any other way. Just to hurt a poor bull, putting sticks in his back until he bleeds to death, and then at the end he's killed, but it takes a lot of time to kill him. It's not that he is killed immediately. I mean, why do we do it? Why does mankind likes to see beings suffer? And then cheer the matador, as if it's something great, as if he's doing something incredible. Yeah, he or she is doing something incredibly cruel. That is right. But yeah, for some reason, it became a tradition. But tradition can be changed. So I think the world is waking up slowly but surely to the suffering of animals. I mean, these animals, they do experience fear, pain, and exhaustion. They value their life just as we do ours. So they are not there for us. They are there for themselves, for their families, for freedom. But we took that away from them a long time ago because of selfishness. And yeah, maybe it's time to give them back their freedom and take care of them instead of exploiting them. And yeah, there are many other, of course, many other practices, not only those, but also horse, how do you call it? I do not know. The shows where horses do some kind of tricks, and they need to be very precise. That also is they're not supposed to do it. Let's say that way. They do not like doing it. They have no choice but doing it. But often also movies, they portray sometimes those horse racing also as in a romantic way. That horses, they love to do it, and they are wild, and they run fast, and they want to be the best. But that's utter nonsense. Horses, they just want to be free in nature. But yeah, so let's discuss this a little bit today. Of course, this is not to make people feel bad, just to awaken, to educate about the animal conditions in different aspects. This world exploits them in any way that it can. Mankind exploits them, but we need to be aware of it so that we do not participate in it, because possibly we are not aware, simply. That's what happened to most of us who are not born in vegan or vegetarian families. So we eat whatever we have given. We're not even aware of what's going on, or what is meat, or what is all this. But once we know, we have a responsibility to know even more and to act upon it. It's once one is wakes up, then it's time to wake up. No more time to sleep. When one is asleep, one is asleep. Then one doesn't know. But once one is woken up, one should not go back to sleep. At least that's what I believe. Of course, it takes a little bit of time to to understand the aspect. That's okay, but it should not take that long. It should not take 4 years. So yeah, animals, they do not choose to compete. They do not volunteer to race, perform, or fight. And yeah, they cannot give their consent basically for the risk, or the physical toll, or the training regimen. And they are bred basically specifically for human use. So that, for example, for dogs, they will be the fastest dogs. And they are trained through methods that prioritize performance over well-being. And yeah, they are pushed to their limits just for human profit and pleasure. And that's very important. The competition is imposed. It is never chosen. I mean, no dog or horse will say, "Oh, I want to compete." Maybe if they were between themselves, just in the forest for fun, that's something completely different. But here it is nothing like that. So everything, all the decisions are purely made by humans, and the animals are bearing all the risks and none of the rewards. And what is the reward? Basically, it's as often it is money, prestige, to the breeders, to those who train them. But there's nothing compassionate about it. There's nothing kind about it. Yeah, it is. A lot of it is gambling. So in horse racing, you can gamble on which horse will be first, second, third. I mean, I never gambled on it, so I'm not sure exactly how it goes. But I suppose, yeah, it's like the same thing as a casino, basically. So yeah. So yeah, horse racing, it's like speed at any cost. They are forced to run at the highest speed possible that exceed what their bodies can really safely sustain. And they have so many injuries that happens to them. They have broken legs and fractured bones, internal bleedings, organ failure. They have tendon and ligament rupture, and even sudden collapse and death. And that is worldwide. So yeah, many horses die during the races or euthanized shortly afterwards due to some injuries. And it's too costly or too difficult to treat. Humans would say repair. So their value is only measured in how fast they are, not in their own well-being. So it's like just using them as basically objects for humans. To say that there's a big, strong bond could be between horses and their riders, but really it's all about prestige, win, money, and not really about their welfare. This is just secondary or tertiary thoughts. And it is not it's not mandatory. None of it, of course, is mandatory. It's our choice to do that, to even look at it, to pay for it, to play the game of the gambling. I suppose it's the excitement of the gambling always. Why is there gambling? Because there's the excitement and the possibility of winning money. Most of the time people lose money, of course, but yeah, it's all about it's a big business, and a big injustice also. So let's maybe reflect upon that. Yeah, and then dog racing. There are like specific like I don't know how you say it, race of dogs, like type, which are greyhounds. We can run very fast, but they're also used as commodities. They are seen as commodities, and they are not seen really as sensitive, intelligent individuals. They are trained like in large number, and they are trained intensively, and they exist solely for the profit of their owners, of that industry, so-called industry. I don't believe it should be named an industry, but yeah. And yeah, when they become too slow or sustain injuries, then the reality is quite grim. Many are abandoned, or many go to shelters, or even sold to laboratories for experiments or killed. So they exist only, basically, their value is to perform. Again, they are like objects, not beings. They do not, mankind doesn't see them as beautiful, kind, sensitive beings, which is quite incredible because usually dogs are pets and they are very much valued by many people for their own sake. But seems some dogs are not that lucky. I don't know if I would not say that everybody agrees with dog racing, but I believe it's something quite common. So somebody watches this, and yeah, it is not again mandatory. It's just for gambling and money. And then bullfighting, yeah, that is still very much legal in several countries in the world, and that is absurd, absolutely absurd, and extremely cruel, even for humans. I don't know how it even started. I suppose somebody started it. I don't know the history of bullfighting. Maybe I should check it out. Should be fascinating history. I don't know. I mean, somebody was crazy enough to start it, to try it out, and maybe others continued. Maybe somebody needed to make money and they wanted to make a show, maybe a few 100 years ago. And then that's how it all started. And then somehow the tradition can be very dangerous. They start like one or two like that, and then it gains momentum. And then before one knows it, everybody is doing it, and it is completely accepted. I know it's not worth preserving it. Some traditions should be abolished. Many of them were abolished, like slavery was abolished some times ago, maybe not that long, but some times ago. And there are several other traditions like that that have been abolished. For example, that women cannot vote. Absolutely ridiculous. But this was also, that was broken, this tradition that man is somehow superior to woman, which is utterly crazy. Maybe the ego, I don't know, the men, and yeah. So here also bullfighting is a tradition that should be abolished for sure. The good thing is that even in the countries where it is legal, it's not legal everywhere. Some part is definitely illegal in those countries. So I hope this illegality will spread, that this bullfighting will be illegal everywhere. Full stop, no exception. Because basically it's like a public and deliberate torture of a sentient being. How could that be cheered upon? How can one actually go and see it? Maybe the reason to see it is curiosity, maybe, I don't know. Probably those who do go for curiosity, maybe they are shocked by what it is. I don't know, maybe those that, I don't know who goes to see it. I'm not saying they are bad people, but this is bad. The many people do like bad things, or go to see bad things, just they are not clearly aware of the suffering behind it, and maybe tradition, maybe their families go to see them like forever. So they go also maybe as a child, and then they become desensitized about this, what it really is. And yeah, so the bulls are really tortured from start to finish, extremely painful to them, and a complete and utter injustice. I don't know what to say about that really, because as much as other things, maybe people have hard time seeing maybe why it's bad. Maybe dog racing, horse racing seems more like maybe natural to the dogs or to the horse. Maybe they think the dog and horses are well cared of and enjoy it, maybe, which is not the case, but maybe one can think this. But for bullfighting, that is even those sentiments are just not possible. It's very direct. What we see is a poor innocent being put to death, and in a very cruel way, very painful and cruel way. So here there's not even an excuse of I didn't know. It's a very direct. So I'm not sure how it can even exist. It's a mystery, another one in this world. Yes, so it's a life of constant stress for all those animals. For the racing, also they have intense physical pressure that goes behind their limit. They have chronic fear and anxiety. How could they not? They don't have enough rest and recovery because the training is so much about performance and the harsh training methods. So those are techniques based on dominance, fear, and punishment rather than trust and cooperation. Yeah, if any is in this industry, then one should just wake up to reality and maybe go to another route. Maybe instead of doing that, then going into animal sheltering, helping the animals, helping also those dogs and horses, so that they can at least live their last part of their life in peace. Then there are many who can change, who do change, like hunters who become vegan, open shelters, or those who work in slaughterhouses, and they feel very bad about it afterwards, and they change. Also those who go to who have to experiment on animals, like in medical facilities. There's a wonderful documentary about it I saw some times ago, about some doctors who had to experiment on animals for their studies, for their research, but they hated it very, 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 very much. And afterwards, they were like very very sad about what they did, and then they thought how many animals they hurt or they killed, and then they tried to somehow make it better. So they advocate for non-testing, etc. So yeah, similarly here, people who are working in those industries, then they can stop doing that and advocate for stopping those, so creating shelters for animals, like really, animal shelters are amazing, where animals can live happily and peacefully among themselves without fear. I believe this should be the norm in this world. We should have much more such farms, 100 times more, 1,000 times more, and so that we live in harmony with the animals, with nature, and not trying to dominate nature. So there are many injuries, many collapses, and many deaths. And it is not a rare accident. It is like a predictable outcome of what they go through. It can also lead directly on the track. It can also be wounds from a trauma from untreated injuries that are not worth the expense for them of veterinary care. Of course, in the arena, bulls will be killed at every fight, and they have basically zero chance of survival. Or they can also collapse from exhaustion, just from sheer, their body cannot continue anymore. So, and then so once it's over, then like from athlete to waste, basically. So there are many once they end their so-called career forced on them, then there are many different possible outcomes. The lucky ones will be taken care of by a loving family. But some are abandoned, some are sold, some are killed, and some end up in slaughterhouses even. So that is their reward for humans. So it's very painful to think about it and to know, but it's good to open our eyes sometimes to reality of life, to reality of the animals. But there are like things that we can do for that. So yes, so tradition does not equal morality. The fact that something was done for a long time, that it's even legal and popular, doesn't mean it is right. There are many such examples in history that were once considered normal and then become illegal, like slavery, for example. But there are others as well. Yeah, so legality is not morality. So unfortunately, laws are not based on kindness always. They are based on somebody making a law, and the person making the law, then it's his or her own values that goes into the law. Often it's based on those in power who wants to remain in power. And it is certainly not the eternal truth about right or wrong. And also popularity is not justification, not because many people do it that it is right. Yeah, so like eating meat, animals, so their secretion. Most people in this world do it, doesn't mean it is right. Yeah, so popularity is not justification. And it's not because something was done for a very long time that it is even more just. So if something was done for 1,000 years, but it was very much immoral, doesn't mean that it is becomes moral because it happens for 1,000 years. One could object about what is morality and immorality. Sometimes they are defined by culture, by culture, by the people in those times. Okay, fair enough, but some things are just there's no other way than saying that they are unethical, no matter what tradition, what culture one is. So if something is, there's a simple way of knowing something is ethical or not. If one is like hurting any other being or oneself in any way or shape, on purpose and for no reason at all, that's unethical. If somebody restrains someone for any reason, that's unethical. Or all those like rules that we have about the 10 Commandments or the 5 rules of Buddhism, they are there to empower us to do what is right. And most of the time they are very similar in all culture and all traditions. So yeah, maybe cultures have their own sense of morality, but there are some things that are just clear, like that we should not kill or be violent. Doesn't matter which culture we are in. It will always be valid to not steal also, etc. So longevity again doesn't justify anything. And so this is what we can do. We can do some good things. One is that we withdraw the support for all those so-called industries. Very simple, we do not attend, watch, or purchase any tickets to any events built on animal exploitation. So no matter which event it is, we just we ban it, we censor it. So we stop the funding. So when there's no more revenue, then the practice change or end, because the industries, they survive on profit. Actually, they live for profit. They They want to make a lot of money. So if money stops or not enough, then um, they stop and they change to something else. Yeah, and then we can speak up, so we can educate people. Educate is just make it clear what's happening to us in those industries, so-called industries, so-called events, because animals, they cannot speak. So, I think there's an organization called Voice for the Voiceless. That's what it means. It's the animals cannot speak, or rather, they can speak, but they do not speak our language. And they speak in different ways between themselves that we do not understand. And but because they cannot speak like us, then we believe we are superior to them. That's just, again, mankind superiority complex. But animals are not beneath us. They should be equal to us. But they are not machines. They are not athletes. They are not spectacles. They are living beings, and they can suffer, they can feel joy, they can form relationship, they value their own existence, they love their lives matter. Not because what they can do to us, for us, but what they are, simply as sentient beings with inherent worth. So humans sometimes also they want to dominate and to do whatever we want. Even for dogs, like dogs, many dogs breeds, they have their tail cut and their ear cut. I think like Dobermans and Pinschers, just for show, just because it's, again, tradition. The dogs never asked for it. The dogs needs their tail. The dogs love their tails and their ears like falling. That's very natural. What they do to them is terrible. We should stop this immediately. We should not cut dogs' tails or ears. That's just a side note, but just something that I thought about. So many things to think. So we have the power to create a world where entertainment is real entertainment and it doesn't require exploitation. Where tradition evolves towards compassion, and where all sentient beings are treated with the respect and dignity that they deserve. So the choice is ours, the time is now. Each one of us has this choice. Of course, we are not all working in those industries. Most of us are not. But still, maybe we can, again, as this slide says, not support them. Even not watch movies related to that. Movies about that. There are, I think, many movies about dog racing, or horse racing especially. Maybe dog racing not that much. We can also boycott those movies, those that also support bullfighting. Of course, not to go to those events. Maybe if we rode horses, then we stop. We think a little bit about it. Do horses really like to be like somebody riding on them? Really think about it, reflect about it thoroughly. Because so many people think that it's actually normal for horses, but it is not. How could it be somebody on one's back for hours and hours? That must take a big hurt on their back, on their legs, on their support, on their bodies. There's nothing normal about it. Also carriages, there are many places in the world where there are like horse carriages. That's also very wrong. The horses are not. First, it's very dangerous to the horses, to traffic, and I mean they are not meant to do it. This is just something that we started a long time ago, and we have hard time stopping. Yeah, and there's nothing kind or compassionate about it, no matter what one believes. So yes, so thank you for this. Thank you for being here, for listening. I hope it was useful in any way. Maybe something that we did not think about. So yeah, so now we have this context. We can maybe make better choices. So yeah, there are documentaries talking about those aspects. I have not seen that many, honestly, that really talks about these issues. I don't remember any documentaries about like bullfighting. That is like like in a vegan way explains it what it is and its cruelty. But also on the horse racing or dog racing, there are not a lot of documentaries. So maybe if there's any filmmaker in the who listens to this, maybe you can create such a documentary. I think that would be awesome. For the actually there is one. I think one for the horse carriages. I think I saw it some time ago. That talks about the horse carriages in New York and the issues with that. So there is at least one documentary. I'm sure there are others, but I think not that many. Of course, I have not seen all documentaries, so I've seen a fair amount, but certainly not all of them. And yeah, so thank you. Let's go to our daily practice. So, hello everyone. Good morning. So let's start our daily practice, daily morning practice at 3 in the morning. So let's start as always with the prayer. So just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I do my work honestly. Just for today, I will show gratitude for my many blessings. Just for today, I will be kind to all living beings. May today be a joyful, peaceful, blissful, and magical day. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the world be happy and free. And may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, to all humans, to all the animals, and finally peace to our own being, to our own self, our own mind. Om. Yeah. So, yeah, if we think about it, if we listen closely to that mantra of Loka Samasta Sukhna Bhavantu, It's really wonderful, and it really embodies basically the vegan lifestyle, the compassionate kind lifestyle. And it's a wonderful mantra to repeat often. And it's a mantra of kindness, of supreme kindness, of what we wish, what we need to embody. To have everybody be free and to be able to do whatever we can to help all beings, be it humans or all the animal people. So that's why it's a wonderful mantra. It's one of the most important mantras, in my opinion, in existing. And if one truly focuses on it, then great things can come out of it. So if you repeat this mantra often and reflect on it and what it truly means, then one cannot but stop hurting people, or all people, or the animals, and one would go basically vegan. That's what that vegan is kindness. It's another word for kindness. It's not a diet. One could say it's a philosophy of peace. One of the very rare philosophy of peace that is purely about peace and kindness and compassion in this world, about nothing else. So for me, the vegan lifestyle is the highest religion. There's basically nothing higher than that. Doesn't matter if one believes in God or not. It's completely irrelevant. When one is kind and compassionate, then it doesn't matter if God exists or not. If he exists or she exists, then he or she will be happy. And if he or she does not exist, then everyone will be happy, the animals and the humans. So in any case, it's a win-win situation. So yeah, that's why I am passionate about the vegan lifestyle. I do believe everyone in this world can and should go vegan. I believe one day that will happen. Maybe not too far away in the distance compared to the past. So maybe in 50, 100 years, I believe, because technology is so strong nowadays that everyone can share, can know the truth about what's happening in those industries, and they cannot really hide it anymore, at least not fully. It's just that it takes a lot of convincing people, a lot of trying to let people understand the importance of that. It takes a lot of energy. It shouldn't take a lot of energy, but it does. Because of social pressure from people, from families that usually are not vegan, and one wants to fit in, and so it's maybe a bit hard to accept. Often nowadays it's much easier, and also food-wise, and it's so easy nowadays to be vegan. So many wonderful food, so many alternative to anything that one think about: meat, fish, eggs, honey, even dairy, cheese. Everything has an alternative. Dairy. The only reason for us to drink milk is when we are babies. This is kind of mandatory. So humans milk, I mean, of course. And yeah, that is the best formula for mankind, for humans. And it's only when we weaned, when we do not need it anymore, then we do not need it anymore. But before that, of course, when we are babies, we should not drink plant-based milks, but humans' milk. That is the only milk that is made for us and good for us and healthy for humans. But plant-based milk, they are wonderful once we have weaned out of it. Once we are out of it, then we can enjoy these plant-based milks for in different ways. Yeah, I'm quite happy in my bio shop. I mean, where I go every week, that the plant-based milks are even they have bigger space than the cow's milk, which is quite amazing. That is the trend that is currently going. That is a good trend. I hope there will not be any more cow's milk anywhere, but that will take, I suppose, some time. Yeah, so okay, I digress a little bit. Let's go back to the practice. So we did the prayer, and now we're going to do the gratitude session. So it's a very important session in the morning where we are grateful for everything, every being that has blessed our life, past, present, or maybe future, that will bless our life. Gratefulness is the mother of all virtues. So if we are grateful, then we nurture all the other virtues. So that's why it's very important to be grateful for everything. Never think that we can do it alone. So it teaches us humility. And that we are interdependent on each and every one of us. So each and every one of us is very important. No one is not important. And but not only for that, but also for the clothes that we wear. But somebody needed to make those clothes, and for the food, there should be some farmers who worked hard to bring us this food, these wonderful fruits and vegetables and seeds and nuts. And if we prepare some pre-made vegan meal, then also somebody needed to prepare it. Takes time, takes energy. So we need to be grateful for those people that we do not often think about it. When we eat, we almost never think about who farmed those food, who prepared it, so the cook or cooks. But it's wonderful to be grateful. So I would encourage everyone to do this practice every morning. If you retain just one thing from this, from all this presentation, is maybe be vegan and be grateful. So let's do that for a couple of minutes. So let's continue. So let's continue with next practice, which is relaxation. So now we do the 61 points. So in the past, the first 20 sessions were about the 31 points of relaxation. Now we do the 61 points. It is basically very similar. Just we extend the 31 by 30 more points. It is a very relaxing practice. It is very very powerful. It is basically a very organized body scan, so that one can always do the same body scan at exactly the same points. That way there's more consistency. Because when we do body scan, usually it's a bit creative, let's say. Everyone does it a bit differently, different points, different sequence. But the 61 points is always the same sequence. So that's why it's quite good, and those points were specifically chosen as energy centers. And yeah, so if we can practice those by really practicing, by focusing fully on those points, that would be extremely helpful. And basically that's the goal of this practice, is to become one-pointed on those points. So we do it twice, once together and once on your own. So let's start. First, find a comfortable position. You can lie down. You can do it in Shavasana. Take a couple of deep breaths. Now relax your shoulders. Relax your arms, your hands, your back, your front. Relax your hips, your legs, your feet. Relax the back of the head, top of the head, forehead, eyes. Relax your nose, nostrils, lips, chin and jaw. Relax your ears and your face. Relax your throat. Just relax. This is just a preliminary before doing the 61 points. And now let's begin. So bring your entire attention to the space between the eyebrows. If you wish, you can imagine a bright blue star there. That star will follow us in each of the points. So bring your awareness to the pit of the throat, the right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, tip of the right thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, pit of the throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, tip of the left thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back the left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, pit of the throat, center of the chest, right chest, center of the chest, left chest, center of the chest, navel, lower abdomen, right hip joint, right knee, right ankle, tip of the right big toe, tip of the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back to the right ankle, right knee, right hip joint, lower abdomen, left hip joint, left knee, left ankle, tip of the left big toe, tip of the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back to the left ankle, left knee, left hip joint, lower abdomen, navel, center of the chest, pit of the throat, and the space between the eyebrows. And relax. Now we are going to do it on our own. So let's do that now. So let's continue. Now that we did relaxation, so we start the relaxation with a bit of a body scan, and then we went to the 61 points. So it's a good idea to just take some deep breaths, do like a short body scan to really see that we are not tense in usual places like shoulders. And then we start the 61 points. So now let's go to pranayama. Yeah, before we go, let's take 5 minutes break. Yeah, and before doing pranayama, I forgot the physical exercise. So let's do that. Just a short, like 5 minutes. Feel free to do something that is more physical. So let's start with the Sufi roll. So inhale forward, exhale back. And the other way. Come back to center. Then inhale. Exhale round. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, turn to one side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, turn a bit more. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, the other side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, turn a bit more. Come back to center. Then one hand on the mat. Inhale. And fall to the side. And inhale. And the other side. Come back to center. Hands on the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Other way. Just relax. Then make some wrist magic. You can open and close your hands rapidly. And similar to with the legs, so extend the legs. And stretch them. Grab one of the knee and turn to that side. The other leg. And put your legs in diamond shape. That just fall forward without pushing. And slowly come back to center. So that was our physical exercise session. Just 3 minutes so far. Now, if you have time and if you like it, of course, you can make in such practices much longer practices, much more like sweaty practices, and of course that's good for the health. So just do what you think is best, but I would suggest not doing it for too long. Somewhere between maybe 5 and 15 minutes, so that we have time for other things than physical exercise. Not that it is not important, but it is just one part of the practice. So okay, so we did the relaxation before, so we did a bit out of order, which is fine. And now we will do the pranayama. So pranayama, well, it's a big topic, but we will do some exercises in that category. And we will start with breath control, a bit of like breath awareness, but with control. So that means we inhale and exhale deliberately. It's not watching the breath, it's not a meditation, it's really deliberate breathing. It's very calming to the nervous system, and it permits us to also see how we breathe. If we breathe diaphragmatically, which we should, meaning we breathe from the belly, one could say, that the shoulders are down, they're not stressed, chest is not tensed, everything is relaxed above, and then at the bottom it's just also relaxed, and just breathe in and out automatically. In order to know if we are chest or like breathing from above or below, we can put one hand on both, and when we breathe, is it from the belly or from the chest? If the belly only moves and the chest almost nothing, then that's diaphragmatic. If it's the chest that moves mostly, then that's more from above. So we try to breathe from below. That's the natural breathing. And we try to make it as silent as possible. Try to avoid pauses between inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, and try to make it as smooth as possible. So like really breathing in and out very smoothly. And as I say, not me, but in the past I said that we should breathe from the nose, not from the mouth. The nose is really what is the apparatus that was made by nature over millions of years for us to breathe in, to make it safe and make it better for our health. The mouth, of course, can breathe, but it's because of for emergencies, or when we talk, maybe we can breathe from the mouth, okay. But the nose is usually what we need to breathe in or concentrate upon, which is very important. Also, when we do sport, it's very good to breathe from the nose also, even in sports. Of course, there are peculiarities there, but it's like if you do some sport that push us too far away and we have no choice but to breathe from the mouth, maybe we pushed ourselves a bit too far. And we can try to practice breathing from the nose also in sports, and maybe doing a bit less at the beginning at least. And I believe that our performance will improve, interestingly. But I'm no sports coach, so what do I know? So yes, so let's do that. So we breathe in, we will do breathe in for 4 seconds and breathe out for 4 seconds. And yeah, if that is too much, you can move to 3-3 or 2-2. But I think 4-4, most people can do it. And it's quite, it's long enough to be relaxing to the system. So let's do that. and slowly open your eyes. So now we move to 1 to 2 breathing. So breathing in for 4 seconds and breathing out for 8 seconds. This may be a bit too much for some, so you can do 3-6 or 2-4. But I think most can do it. So breathing in for 4 seconds and out for 8 seconds in a very calm, peaceful way. So if you are need to take a lot of breath, then it's too stressful, so don't do it. So go back to 3-6 or 2-4. Otherwise, if you are very calm and peaceful while doing it, then that is fine. And the same qualities as before. So no noise, little noise at least, unless we have a blockage in our nose, of course. As smooth as possible without pauses, and diaphragmatic and through the nose. So let's do it. So 4 in, 8 out. And slowly open your eyes. So now we move to Nadi Shodanam, Anuloma Viloma, alternate nostril breathing. It has many names. The idea is to balance our left and right side of our energetic system. It is so the left side is Ida, so the feminine side, or the creative, like calm side, and the right side. I mean, the left side is like the moon, and the right side is like the sun. So it's more the male energy, more active, more the sympathetic nervous system is linked to the right side of the nostril. So this practice tries to balance them both. So let's do that. So what we do is we put our hands in Vishnu mudra, so index and middle finger bent, and then we block the nostril with the thumb or the ring. And we're going to do the third type again. The third type is, imagine we block the right, then we exhale left, inhale, exhale, switch, exhale, inhale, exhale. Very easy. That is one round. We try to make it same qualities like before, like very smooth, diaphragmatic, silent if possible. That's not always possible because at least one nostril will be closed normally. Not completely closed, but closer than the other one. And without pauses, and more or less the same time inhalation, same time exhalation. One can also do different variants, like inhale for like 1, 2 as well, like inhale for like 4, exhale from 8, but we're going to do 1, 1. So we're going to do together 1 round, and you can do on your own 3 rounds. So each round starts on the other nostril, and there's usually some pause in between, like to calm down, like maybe 10 seconds, 5-10 seconds pause, and then going to the other round. So let's start. So inhale, exhale, inhale to start. Block right, exhale from left. Inhale left, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale from right, inhale from right, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and relax. So we're going to do each one of us 3 rounds, as we said. And between rounds, take 5-10 seconds of rest. And each round starts from the other nostril. So, let's start. You don't need to follow me, just do it at your own pace. And let's continue. So now we're going to do the primary or humming bee humming practice, which is extremely simple. Just inhale and make the sound while exhaling. The and you choose the note, how long you do it, and yeah, it's extremely calming to the nervous system. It's also very good scientifically because it creates more nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is created in the nose, so this humming make like vibrate the nose like tunnel, and that brings nitric oxide to the lungs and dilates the vessels, which is very good. Well, that's also one reason why we should breathe from the nose, is because the nitric oxide is created in the nose. So when we breathe from the mouth, we breathe in very little nitric oxide and much more through the nose, and which is a really important compound for our health. So yeah, so let's do that for a couple of minutes. You don't need to follow me. Do it at our own pace, on rhythm, on notes, and you can modify the tone every time or not. You can try to see which tone make vibrate the chest, maybe some vibrate the nose. It depends if it's very low or not that low, high, etc. So let's do that. And slowly come out. So we did. So basically, during this retreat, we are doing 3 types of practices. One is controlled breathing. One is controlled breathing 1-1 and 1-2 without breath retention. One is Adishodanam, different types. So we saw first type in the first 10 sessions, second type in the 10 next session, and now the third type in this 10 session series. And yeah, and finally primary. So the humming bee practice, which one can do it anytime. It's very calming, So one can do it before sleep to help you fall asleep faster and better. So yeah, it's great practice. So now we move to self-dialogue. So self-dialogue is, okay, again I'm repeating myself because I'm not sure who exactly is behind the camera, so to speak. I suppose it's not always the same persons. And it's always good to hear again in maybe different perspective on that. I try to be a bit creative. So yeah, so self-dialogue is an important part of practice, of a spiritual practice. It is one that is often neglected because often you jump right into meditation before doing the preparation. So preparation, well, everything that we did until now is preparation, but also self-dialogue especially. Self-dialogue is, again, when we talk to ourselves in a positive manner, very loving kindness talk with our own mind, with our own brain, with our own thought patterns. One could say that we talk to our higher self, what is called buddhi in yoga. Buddhi is the higher intellect, the higher part of ourselves. It's not the soul, but it's the closest part to it. It's not awareness, but again, it's the closest to awareness. It's kind of like awareness. And yeah, so self-dialogue can be, there are different types of self-dialogue. What I'm going to present are just some of the main ones, but possibly there are many more. So just an overview. So first type is prayer. Prayer can be either intuitive, creative, or self-made, pre-made. It can be either from a scripture or one that one made oneself. Scriptures, of course, they are full of prayers. So it's not necessarily to a divine being. If one believes in divine being, that's fine. Some believe like in the universe, in nature, in a supreme energy, like in an ocean of energy. That's how I like to view it. So that like we have a sea of awareness, a sea of consciousness, a gigantic, limitless sea, like an ocean. I could call it the ocean of consciousness. And basically, we are part of it. We are all part of it. We are conscious. That means we are part of the ocean of consciousness. And it's like we are a particle of it. We are a drop of the ocean. It's like if you take a drop out of the ocean, then that drop is still part of it was part of the ocean, so it is part of the ocean. And then when that drop returns to the ocean, it becomes again the ocean. So this ocean is where we come from, and then we can pray to that ocean of consciousness. And that ocean of consciousness is very powerful, like self-aware kind of energy, self-power. When it started, I think no one knows. Did it have any beginning? Maybe not, I don't know. But for sure something exists, that ocean exists. And that ocean sometimes is called the ocean of love, of true love, of bliss, rapture, infinite happiness, and supreme peace. So it's very peaceful ocean. And so prayer is we pray to either anyone we believe in, anything that we believe in energy, or we just pray in a more an affirmation kind of way that we wish, even if we don't believe in any being or any energy, just wishing well to everyone. Everyone can do it, and everyone will be okay with it. And that is very good because thoughts are very important. So when we have good thoughts toward people, that will reflect back very strongly. There are some people like we maybe sometimes don't feel very comfortable with, and some people we feel immediately comfortable with. Maybe it has to do with the quality of the thoughts that they emit currently. Those that are very peaceful, very loving, then they will have easier, kinder energies, and people will feel it and will feel good next to them. And if some people have hateful feelings all the time, always worrying and angry, then one may feel restless next to them. And again, it's the quality of the thoughts mostly, even though they do not do anything, they do not say anything, but just the thoughts emitting by people are very real. And that's why we need to cultivate as much as possible positive thinking, mindful thinking. So that is prayer. Then we can have gratitude. That's also self-dialogue, where we are grateful for everything and anything, all the positive things that are in our life. We are grateful for everything: teachers, family, house, hot bed, food, anything that you can think of, anything that we can think of, we can surely be grateful for. Then we learn that we are not alone in this world, and that we depend on other people, and that other people depend on us also, that they are grateful for what we do. That's also very important, that our work is valued. Doesn't matter if it is exciting or not exciting job, but every job has its purpose and is helping in some way, even though we are not aware of it, and we maybe rarely think about it. But everything that we do is important. Also, for example, cashiers at a supermarket, they are very important. Without them, we wouldn't be able to pay for our what we buy. And often they are quite kind people. And so we should appreciate and be grateful for them. And and not think that we are superior in any way, which was, of course, we are not. So every job has its purpose, and each one of us should do our job in the best possible way. So that is gratefulness, being grateful to everyone, including what we are doing to others. That's also kind of gratefulness for us for being able to help others. It's wonderful. Without ego coming in, of course. We should do things in as much ego-less as possible. But still, we can be grateful for the opportunity to help. Then we have also affirmations. So affirmations are positive, of course. Affirmations are great. There are all kinds of those. There are entire books on those. Then there is also what is called contemplation on higher truths. There are many higher truths that one can contemplate upon. Yogis have what they are called Mahavakyas. Those are like higher truths, like taken from the Vedas or some scriptures, and they are like utterances that one think about. So thinking about their meaning. It's not just their sounds, their mantra. It's more thinking about the meaning of these utterances. And yeah, one of the most well-known is the self-inquiry question, who am I? That is at the root of all spiritual practices, trying to figure out who are we. It's a wonderful journey to understand it. It's an adventure to understand who we are. In a way, that's why that's the entire kind of spiritual practice, is to understand this, not understand it intellectually, but actually know it, and not even knowing it, but experiencing it. That's the difference between learning something intellectually and actually experiencing it. It's very different. Both are good, but experience is higher than knowing intellectually. Like similarly to when we, if you tell someone who never ate a ripe mango how that tastes, and then you say, "Oh, it tastes like the most tasty candy ever known," and like it is, very juicy, yellow, and one can never have enough of it. And if the other person know that we are truthful, then they will believe it, and they will have maybe this desire to know what this mango is. Then they will even try to have mangoes, and maybe order some mangoes online or go buy some. And and then only once one has tasted it, that one really knows what it is. So it's always like that. Always the talk, intellectual talk, is more to motivate people to do something, to learn something, and to experience something. But it's just intellectual. Then one needs to actually experience it. And that's true for all experience in life, basically. Everything that we do, we really want to experience them. We can learn them intellectually, but only when experiencing them that we know what they are. Like this can be food, or like sports. If you play sports, that people can say it's a lot of fun, but since we have never done it, we have no idea really what it is exactly about, no more or less. Like, for example, for me, I have colleagues who play paddle. Paddle is like kind of tennis, like modern tennis. I think it's a new invention, but one that has taken over the world, it seems, and it seems a lot of fun. Like 2 people against 2 people, and then seems easier to learn than tennis, and at least for beginners. And it seems quite a lot of fun. So I've never played paddle, I mean, I was told it's great, it's a lot of fun. But since I've never played it, I don't really have full connection to it. Someday I might try it out, but I do not know it fully. I do trust the one that says it, and they look very happy, like when they talk about it. So I do believe them, but that's about it. So similarly, in other, even in spiritual practice, same thing. When people maybe say meditation brings them peace, then one can believe them if they are truthful. But if one has not experienced it, one does not meditate, and one might not know. And same with the who am I? Who am I is a kind of it's kind of a goal to understand who we are deeply in all the state of consciousness. It's really very, very deep question. And then it takes time to unravel. And yeah, so in this practice, we just think, who am I? In a positive, always compassionate, kind way. And it can be a lot of fun. So we should never take it too seriously. It's more like an adventure where we embark on an adventure and we think about the treasure. And the treasure is self-realization. But it together, maybe in all games we might have in each level we have something that we get, some gifts that we get, some treasures. But really, it's the final gift that is the one that we are really after. But all the intermediate ones are great too. So similarly with the who am I, that's kind of the goal, is to actually get to understand that fully, experience that. But it takes time, and we need to be patient and just enjoy the path. It's not only the destination that counts; it's the path also. People enjoy very much traveling and also to explore new places. So that's something similar that we are also exploring, but from a spiritual perspective. Yep. So the next one is self-counseling. One of the main questions is, what do I want? What are my goals? What are my motivations in life? What is my oomph, my drive? What do I really want to achieve in life? If one has something that one wants to achieve, maybe some don't want to achieve anything, but I think most of us do have some wish to achieve something, whatever that is. Even could be just be happy. That's an achievement. That's a wonderful achievement. Or to be peaceful, or maybe we wish to become better at a hobby, or to be a good parent is wonderful. Or in the spiritual perspective, to advance spiritually, whatever that means. And to advance spiritually, there's one should know what it means actually, because spirituality is not only about meditating and getting into a stage of rapture. A lot of it is about developing virtues, becoming a better person. That is a very big part of spirituality. So it's developing wisdom, developing virtues, developing meditation is a holistic approach to spirituality. So that is one goal that we can have in life. And again, as we said before, it's a path. It's an adventure. It's a wonderful adventure. One of the most wonderful adventure in life, I believe. But one needs to take it in the right perspective. That one should be kind to oneself also. One should not expect too much, not immediately. It takes time to unravel. It's like we cannot force a kid to grow up faster than nature decides. So similarly in spirituality, it takes some time to mature. But there are certainly things that we can already do. But it can also be improving in business, maybe creating a new product, a wonderful vegan product, maybe vegan restaurant. That's an amazing, wonderful goal to help spread out the compassion and kindness everywhere. That may be the best thing we can do actually nowadays in this world, all of us in our own way. This world needs kindness and compassion more than ever. And there are many people who do that also nowadays. So that's great. But the more, the better. So again, find out the goals, maybe think about how one can achieve it. It's not only having goals and aspiration is wonderful, but how can we achieve it? How can we change our habits? Habits are very strong. So we need to learn how to, the art of habit making or changing. It's an art. There are many books about it, many wonderful books. But so that's that. And then I also, I mentioned previously in the past days that metta meditation is wonderful, loving kindness. That's also a self-dialogue kind of practice where we wish well to all beings, all living beings, like all species, and then also specifically to those that are close to us, those that are neutral, and those that are difficult to us. We wish well to all beings everywhere, not only even in this world, in all worlds, in the entire universe. So, and then finally there is the category of friendliness with mind, where we are just talk in a friendly manner to the mind, as if our mind is our best friend. And it's he or she is a wonderful friend, one that is always with us. But it is up to us, our conscious part of the mind, to acknowledge it and to reflect on it, and not to see the mind as our enemy. And not to scold the mind, just to be friend with the mind. Doesn't mean that we need to accept anything that comes from the mind, but to just have a friendly discussion over tea with our best friend. What could be lovelier? So let's do that. I talked enough already. I know I often repeat myself in these sessions. Again, for several reasons. One is it's good to repeat oneself. I try to see it from different perspectives also, to to give different perspectives of that, not only in the same way, but also, of course, from the nature of the internet and live. I have no idea who is watching, so I can suppose there are always new new persons watching. So I don't want to assume that everyone is already seen all the sessions before, because I'm quite sure that's not the case. And yeah, and when we give like physical retreats where people are present, like on presence retreats, it's very different, of course. Then we have much more interactions with the participants. It's more fun in a way, because one gets to really know people, interact, and then really know what is their struggle and how to really help them, to learn even how to help them. But I'm not perfect, so I can only do my best. And yeah, so on presence and online are two very different medium. Also, I prefer not to use the chat because of the nature of this practice. It's just I want to do like a practice and without any interruptions. But yeah, this could be an idea, like in the future, to give more like because chat I'm not too much a fan of, but more like in Zoom, where one can actually see the other persons and one can really interact verbally. Then that feels much more like a physical on-presence retreat, on-presence session. So it's easier to interact, to know who is there. If they're already there, then I don't need to repeat, and so on. But for now, we'll leave it at that. Also, one thing is that I put all the slides of all the presentation I did until now. I put them in the notes, in the notes of all the videos. Each video has their own slides, so they are created using the wonderful gamma.app site, which is absolutely amazing. So that way you can you can look at them if you wish. You can also use them for your own presentations if you wish. They are I no copyright of any kind. Feel free to use them. And so let's pass to our self-dialogue session. So we'll do it for about 12 minutes. Starting now. Now, before the final meditation, let's take 5 minutes break. So, um, so let's pass now to meditation. Meditation part of it, which is uh, as until now in this retreat. So it's breath based. awareness on the breath, on the sensations of the breath. One is aware of it. So there's no control of the breath. That's very important. The breath is very natural. It's like looking at someone at a distance and see them breathing, something like that. So awareness looks at itself breathing. And when we have a breath, and when we have a thought, we come back to the breath. That's very important. Gently moving back to the breath. So that is mindfulness. So this going and from thoughts to concentration is actually constant, like to and fro. It's kind of not really a battle, but our mind doesn't really like to. Our mind likes to think, which is fine because that's what it is made for and of. But in meditation, we really don't want to follow the thoughts. So really want to see the thoughts like clouds. Whatever thoughts we have, good, bad, all are like clouds. So whenever we have a thoughts, we bring our mind back to our object of concentration. So in the beginning, we can watch, we can count the breath. Like when we inhale in and out, it's 1, and then until 5, and then back to 1, and so on. Or when we inhale, we think in, and then when we exhale out, we can feel the breath in the nostrils or on the upper lip, or like in the sensation of cold and hot in the air that we breathe in from the nose. So when we inhale, it's usually cold, and when we exhale, it's hot. Then we can focus on that aspect of the air. So we're going to do 3, 4, 6, 9, 12 minutes, increasing duration, so that way, if 3 minutes is enough, you can just leave after 3. And if you wish for try more, then we can do more. Shorter ones are very interesting because the mind likes like short durations, because then it can think, oh, it's okay, I can do it for 3 minutes, I don't have to sit for 3 hours. So it's easier to concentrate. And at the same time, longer one can be also quite helpful because there the mind can settle down, that enough time to settle down. So both are interesting, longer ones and shorter ones. Depends on on our practice. But now we will start with 3 minutes. So let's start now. Try to be as stable and comfortable as possible. Do not move unless really required. relax a bit, and prepare for 4 minutes. Okay, let's start the 4 minutes session. Same thing. And relax a little bit and prepare for 6 minutes. Okay, let's go for it. Now relax a bit and prepare for 9 minutes. So this is a good way to see the difference, how you feel with shorter meditation and longer meditation. So let's start for 9 minutes. Yeah, stretch your legs, relax a little bit, and we're going to do our last meditation for the day, for the morning, of 12 minutes. So let's go for it. So that concludes our session for today. So to recap today, in the presentation we saw about the so-called entertainment industry that includes many things that involves animals, like horse racing, dog racing, and even in some countries still bullfighting. So those are all not innocent practices. I mean, we can all agree that bullfighting is certainly not innocent. That's one of the most directly cruel and unbelievable tradition, so-called tradition, that we have in this world, and that is continues to perpetuate until it will become illegal everywhere sometime in the future. But others that seems that could be acceptable, like horse racing and dog racing, but when we look deep into them, they are anything but innocent, and they are also quite cruel and unnecessary, and driven by money and prestige. But the animals are secondary; they are just a mean to an end. Yeah. So so that concludes it, and let's end it with the mantra. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy and free, and may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, to all humans, to all the animals, and finally peace to ourselves, to our own mind. Thank you. Wishing you a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for being part, listening, and yeah, I hope to see you soon. And bye bye.